Hello students, welcome to Sunya IAS. So today you are welcome to the second part of the percentage topic. As I told you in the last part also that percentage is really an important topic in CSAT. Every year there are 3 to 4 questions on an average being asked from this particular topic. So we have to divide this large topic into 2 parts so that you do not have that much load on your brain, because you are already suffering from GS also, and then there is CSAT also. So we'll try to keep things easy here. Here we are going to cover 8 more questions, and these 8 questions are really good, and so pay attention on this part and do not miss anything. There are no new basics as such. All the basics I had covered in the earlier part 1 video. So if you have not watched that yet, please go to that video, and that if you watch those videos, you start with those questions, it would be a lot easier to deal with these 8 questions we are going to discuss now. So as I have told you previously also, we have exhaustively covered the percentage topic in our offline and online courses. So please have a look at that, and then we'll start our discussion from the question number 1 today. So let me read it. In a city, 12% of the households earn less than this amount, 30K. 6% of the households earn more than 2 lakh per year. 22% households earn more than 1 lakh per year, and 990 households earn between 30,000 and rupees 1 lakh per year. Okay, that is being asked. So that is some information being given to you. Now the whole information I will write down in simple form. I'll just break all of it down. So there are different households. Some of them are actually earning less than 30K per year. How many are them? They are 12% in number. Then there are households which are earning between 30K to around how much? 1 lakh per year. How many are they? They are 990 in number. So their percentage is not given, but number is given. They are 990 in number. So let me write 990 here. Then we have those households which are earning actually more than 1 lakh but less than 2 lakh, in this range. And then we have those households which are earning actually greater than 2 lakhs per year. Those who are earning greater than 2 lakhs per year are actually 6%. And those, now pay attention to this part, I'm highlighting it. Those who are earning more than 1 lakh per year are actually 22%. So they are not only those households which fall into this category, but they will be those households also which fall in this category. Since this is the 1 lakh barrier, all those above it, be from 1 lakh to 2 lakh bracket or those above 2 lakh bracket, all will be included in this 22%. So this total is nothing but 22%. So how much it is going to be? It is going to be, I think, it is going to be 16% who are earning in this bracket. Now, what we have to find is that how many households earn between rupees 1 lakh and rupees 2 lakh per year. So we have to find the number of those people who are earning actually this amount. And how much is this amount? This is nothing but 16%. 16% of the total number of households. Okay. So what is the total number of households? That is something which we want to find out. We have all of them in percentage. We have only this one in terms of number. So this one can help you actually to find the number of households there in total. And so if this bracket contains 12% people, this bracket contains 16% people, this bracket contains 6% people, how many people are contained in this 30,000 to 1 lakh bracket? They are nothing but 100 minus 12 plus 16 plus 6%. And if you add all of them up, I think you will get 34 here. So 100 minus 34 is going to be 66%. So 66% of the households actually fall in this category. And if 66% of total household, let's call them T, are 919 number, then we can say 0.66 T is 990. From here we can solve and get the value of T. T is nothing but 990 upon 0.66, getting rid of the decimal, 2 here, 30 here. So overall we are going to have 1500 households in this particular city. Now out of the total households, how many of them fall actually in this category? Only 16% fall in this category. And so the number of households which earn between 1 lakh to 2 lakh are going to be, let me write it with a different color pen here, they are going to be 16% of T, that is 0.16 into 1500, and that would be nothing but 16 into 15, and that figure comes out to be equal to 240. That is option number B would be the correct option here. Okay, so if I want to sum up the whole question, it is nothing but this distribution is given to you. You have to figure out the individual percentage, and here with this percentage and with this number of households, you can actually find the total number of households, and from that you can find out actually those number of households which fall in this particular category. That is the approach to this question. Okay, so I hope this was understood. We'll move on to the next question. So we have this question number 2. So there is a girl named Anita, and in her mathematics test there were 70 problems, each carrying equal marks. So there were, out of the 70 questions she had, 10 were from arithmetic, let's write AR, 30 were from algebra, let's write AL, and 30 were from geometry, let's call it Geo. Although she answered 70% of the arithmetic questions correctly, so she, let me use a different color pen. So she solved actually 70% of the arithmetic questions, 40% of the algebra questions, and finally 60% of the geometry questions correctly. Even then, she did not pass the test because she got less than 60% marks. So this 60% marks is the actually cutoff to clear the paper. So the number of more questions should have to answer correctly to earn a 60% passing marks is. So basically what is given to you is, you are given a distribution of a maths paper in which a particular student is getting this and this percentage of questions correctly. Even then she is actually not touching the passing marks, and passing marks are nothing but 60%, right? So that we have to find out. So let us assume that the marks, since all of them are carrying equal marks, the marks of each question is 1. This is what I am assuming. So the total marks are going to be how much? 70. Out of it, algebra has 10 marks. Algebra has 30 marks, arithmetic has 10 marks, and geometry has 30 marks. Okay. Out of them also, she is able to get 70% correct only, and 70% correct only means 0.7 into 10, basically 7 marks she is getting from here. 40% of 30, so she will get 0.4 into 30, that is 12 questions she is getting correct from here, and 60% of 30, that is 0.6 of 30, that is 18 questions she is getting correctly from here. Okay, are you able to figure out that part? So out of all these questions from arithmetic, she is able to clear out of 10 only 7 questions, from algebra out of 30 only 12 questions, and out of geometry only 18 questions she could manage to get correctly. Okay, and how much is the passing marks? Passing marks is 60%. So in order to pass, you must get 60% of 70, that is nothing but 0.6 into 70, which is going to be equal to 42. So 42 questions one must attempt correctly in order to pass the examination. And how much questions did she attempt correctly? She attempted 7 plus 12 plus 18, 37 questions correctly. So in order to actually go to the passing marks of 42, she need to basically solve 5 more questions correctly. So plus 5 questions she need to solve in order to pass. So the correct answer is going to be option number B, that is 5. So here also you can see the calculation is not at all difficult. The process is not at all difficult. The only thing which you have to do in this question is just to actually write down this lot of information into simpler form and figure out a lot. In this question there is not much calculation, but a larger part of this question is devoted to first understanding and then actually figuring out a lot of information. Okay, that was a good question. Moving on to the third question. Just read it. It is also a similar kind of a question. So in a test, a candidate attempted only 8 questions and secured 50% marks in each of the questions. Okay. If he obtained a total of 40% in the test and all questions in the test carried equal marks, how many questions were there in the test? Okay. So the thing is, there were suppose a lot of questions, let's call them T questions in the test. Alright. Out of those T questions, a candidate attempted only 8 questions. And in those 8 questions also, she got 50% of the marks. Alright. Now, as compared to the total questions, she obtained a 40% score. So what was the total number of questions in the test? So one after the another, I'll write down information here. So let us take the total number of questions is equal to T. For our simplicity, we'll assume marks of each question to be 1 mark. So here total marks will be how much? Simply T into 1. How much candidate is attempting? Candidate is attempting 8 questions only. And how much marks he is getting out of those questions? He is getting 50% of the marks. So total marks of 8 questions will be 8 into 1, that is 8 marks. And out of these 8 marks, she is getting only 50%. That is 0.5 into 8, which is nothing but 4 marks she is getting. So her score or his score is nothing but 4. What is the total mark? It is T. Now it is told that she is obtaining overall 40% in the test. But so one should say 4 out of T into 100 is nothing but 40%. Basically, it is being said that her score divided by total score is actually 40%. This is being said on doing a simple calculation. We'll actually get the value of T to be. This question is solved and the value of total question is nothing but. This question was also a simple question with a lot smaller calculation part, as you can see from here. Just 1 or 2 calculation you have to do. But in these questions, you have to apply a lot of brain, a lot of common sense. So these are some good questions which you should have a good look at. Moving on to the fourth question. The monthly average salary paid to all the employees of the company was this much. The monthly average salary paid to male and female employees was 5200 and 4200 respectively. Then the percentage of males employed in the company. So basically it is a question of mixed average and percentage. So here also we studied some basics about average that we are going to use. So let us assume in this question we have to find the percentage of males employed in the country, so in the company. So basically you will need the number of males also and the number of females also. So let us assume the number of males is X and the number of females is Y. If we talk about the average salary of the male employees, and there are X males, so one can say M1, M2, M3 and so on until the MX. All these are X number of males divided by X, their total number. This is going to be the average salary. All the men, X men divided by X, and their average salary is coming out to be 5200. Then we have female employees and their number are Y. So we have F1 plus F2 and so on till Fy upon Y is equal to 4200. That is another part of the equation. And then we have finally a third part of the question which is given initially, and that is that the average salary paid to all the employees is this much. The average salary of all the employees including the male and the female is going to be, let us write about the males first. So from M1 to MX all the males are there, then from F1 to Fy all the females are there, divided by X plus Y, the total number of males and females. We have the average salary to be 5,000. Okay, and now what we have to do is that we have to find the percentage of males. Let us talk about that part also. What is going to be the percentage of males? So the percentage of males is going to be the number of males divided by number of males and females both into 100. We assume the value of M to be X, female to be Y. So we have to find out actually this value. And in order to find this percentage, we need some relation between X and Y. That would be the approach of solving this question. In order to get this from these things, we have to find some relation between X and Y so that we can actually solve this part of the question. Okay, and how we'll do that? That's very simple. From this whole part, you can say this whole sum from M1 to MX, this sum is nothing but 5200 into X. And from this part, you can say the whole sum of these incomes from F1 to Fy, this sum is going to be 4200 into Y. Cross multiplication simply I am doing, sending this Y there, sending this X there. And if I put these sums, this value here, let me use a different colored pen here, and these values here, we'll get some equation only in terms of X and Y. That is basically what I am going to do. So here if you put this sum of male people as 5200, this will be 5200. Let me just write it again, 5200X. Plus we have this, so we'll write 4200Y divided by X plus Y. I'll write it somewhere else. I'll write like here, 5200X plus 4200Y divided by X plus Y. This amount is nothing but equal to 5,000. So on using all these equations, ultimately I am getting this relation between X and Y, although I need to simplify it further, but this relation will be very crucial to solve this particular equation right here. So I'll erase this part. Before that, I'll just conclude, sum up the whole thing in just a minute. So using the average salary of males, I wrote this equation. The average salary of females, I wrote this equation. This is the overall salary of males and females. And now using these values, I substituted in this equation, and the whole thing I am getting in terms of X and Y. This is the operation done so far. I'll erase and create some space. we'll have 5200 x plus 4200 y is going to be just cross multiplied here with 5000. You will get 5000x plus 5000y. Okay, simple cross multiplication we are doing. There was lack of space, so I wrote it in this manner. We'll just cross multiply there. Bring x on one side and send y on one side. We'll get 5200 x minus 5000 x is 5000 y minus 4200 y. Here you get 200x is equal to 800y. On cancelling all of it out, get x is equal to 4y. That is the relation between x and y. Using this relation, we'll just substitute the value of x here only and get the percentage. So here the value of x is nothing but 4y upon this x is also 4y plus y is nothing but simply y into 100, 4y upon 5y into 100. Just cancel out the y. Ultimately, we'll get the value as 80%. So 80% is going to be the percentage of males employed in the country. So here in this question, a calculation part of this question was really important, but the equation writing part was equally important. So first you have to write the correct equations. After that, you have to find the correct relation and then substitute here to get the correct value. So this one was a good question, and you know, such questions need a good amount of practice. But once you have done such a question, a similar question, if it comes in CSAT examination, you will definitely be able to crack it up. So moving on, in an adult population of a city, 40% men and 30% women are married. What is the percentage of married adult population if no man marries more than one woman, no woman marries more than one man, and there are no widows and widowers? Basically, there is a city in which out of the total adult population, 40% men and 30% women are married. Now, the basic idea of marriage as far as India is concerned and a lot of countries are concerned is that there is in marriage a male and a female. Okay, here it is also providing you that no man marries more than one woman. So there is no concept of polygamy in this society. Also, no woman marries more than one woman. So there is also no woman marries more than one man. So there is no concept of polyandry also in this society. And finally, there are no widowers and no widows. The basic idea is that for each married man, there is a married female. There are complete couples. There is no problem of widow, of divorce or polygamy or anything. So equal number of married men and equal number of married females are there. Now, let us proceed with the question. So let us assume the number of men in the city is M and the number of women in the city is W, right? What will be the number of married men? They are 40% of M. That means the number is 0.4 times M. Similarly, what is the number of married women? They are 30% of W. What is 30%? It is going to be 0.3 times W. Okay. Since this information is given that there is no polygamy, multiple marriage, no polyandry, no widowhood, no divorce, etc., nothing is there, which would basically mean the number of married men are equal to the number of married women. That is the basic idea of this question, and therefore 0.4 M is going to be equal to 0.3 W. We can further simplify it. I can write M is equal to 0.3 by 0.4 W. We can get rid of these decimals and we'll get simply M is equal to 3 by 4 W. This is the relation which we need to solve the question further. So what is being asked? What is the percentage of married adult population? The percentage of married adult population we have to find out. and the percentage of married adult population would be married men plus married women upon total men and total women into 100. So if you want to find the percentage of married adult population, what you have to find out is what is the number of married people, both men and women, divided by what is the total adult population, that is total men and total women, divide and multiply by 100. That is the basic idea. Now I'll put the values, and so let me clear some space here. So okay, so since the screen is clear, I'll just write down the basic 1 or 2 things which we derived earlier. So we derived one relation, men is 3/4 of women. This is one thing we got. The number of married men is equal to 40% of M. Let's write them 0.4 M. And the number of married women is nothing but 0.3 W, that is 30% of W. Now, what we have to find is that percentage of married population. We have to find the percentage married adult population. Okay, and so in order to find the percentage of married adult population, you must know that it would be equal to married men, married women divided by total men and women into 100, which I wrote earlier also. Now I am writing in a crude way so that we just put the values. So what is the number of married men? They are 0.4 M. What is the number of married women? They are 0.3 W. Total men are capital M and total women are capital W. This is the thing. Into 100 we have to do. Now we found this relation between men and women. We'll just replace the value of M here in this equation with this value so that all of it comes in term of W. So here we'll have 0.4 multiplied by 3/4 W plus 0.3 W divided by 3/4 W plus W into 100. Okay, this top part, when you cancel out, it will be nothing but 0.3 W. This is also 0.3 W. We'll get 0.6 W divided by, here you will have 3/4 W plus 1, you will have overall 7/4 W. So I'm just basically adding the fraction. These are the basics which we are covering exhaustively, as I told you earlier. So I'm just going fastly with that. If you cancel out W from both the parts, you will get how much? Let me write it above on the top. 0.6 divided by 7 into 4 into 100 you are getting. You send 4 on the top. 4 into 0.6 into 100 divided by 7. This will be the total percentage. If I multiply all these things, I will get nothing but 240 upon 7 percentage. Now this is an improper fraction, so we convert such improper fractions into mixed fractions, and that process is easy. So I'll just divide it. I'll get 3, 4, 34, 2 upon 7% in the form of a mixed fraction. So the correct answer is going to be option number C, that is 34 2 upon 7. This was an improper fraction. This I am writing is a mixed fraction, and the answer here is given in the form of a mixed fraction. So these are the basics which you must know to solve the question. These are those things on which no separate question is being asked, but they are being asked here and there, such as in this example. Okay, so you must be clear with all those things. So one more question is being solved in this way, and now we'll move on to the next part. Okay, so look at this question. Candidates in a competitive exam consisted of 60% men and 40% women, and out of all these candidates, 70% men and 75% women actually cleared the qualifying test. So like you have a prelims examination, in this examination there is a qualifying test at the first stage, and those who entered the final test, like there is a mains examination, in this final test 80% men and 70% women were successful. So a lot of things are being asked. Now let us try to figure out the total number of things. So suppose there are some candidates, let's call them T. Out of them 60% are male and remaining 40% are female. Out of them, how many are passing the qualifying test? Those who are qualifying this test are how much? 70% for men and 75% for women. And finally, those who are passing actually the final test, there actually we are having 80% of men and 70% of women who are successful and actually clearing this examination. Okay, this information is correct. So this is the thing, and we have to find out whether the success rate of women is higher or not, overall success rate is below 50% or not, how more men are clearing the examination than women. All these things are being asked, are all analytical. That is, based on this basic information given in the question, we have to answer or check out all the statements whether they are correct or not. Okay, so what we'll do is that we'll assume some total number of students. Okay, so let us assume the total number of students are 1000. Okay, 1000 candidates are there. Out of this 1000 candidates, 60% are male. So 0.6 into 1000, we are getting 600 candidates as male. So the remaining 400 candidates would be female. Out of these 600 candidates, 70% are able to clear the qualifying test. So 70% of 600, that is 0.7 into 600, that would be I think 420, are able to clear the qualifying test. And further, out of these 420 candidates, only 80% are able to clear the test further. So 0.8 into 420 are able to clear the final test. Their number would be nothing but 8 into 42, that would be 336 candidates. Finally, male would be able to clear the examination. Similarly, if we talk about the females, out of total 400 female candidates, 0.75 are those who will be able to clear the qualifying test, and their number will come out to be around 300 when you multiply those numbers. And then out of these 300 also, only 70% are able to clear the examination. That would be 0.7 into 300, and their number is going to be 210. So out of these 400 women, 210 women candidates were actually able to clear the examination. And similarly, out of these 600 men, 336 men were able to actually clear out the examination. Okay, here the trickier part is, why did I assume the candidates to be 1000? And that is the catch. Okay, so if you assume the total number of candidates to be 1000, the number you will be getting are going to be very much, beautiful. You're going to love these values, because these are the values which are, your brain can perceive easily. They are not in terms of decimal, not in terms of x and anything. So why did I assume 1000 is the catch. And some surprises must be left like surprises. And so we'll move on further to explain the question ahead. So we'll check the options one after the another. Success rate is higher for women. So what is success rate? That out of the total candidates, how many candidates are able to make it? So if we talk about males, the success rate is nothing but 336 upon 600. How much it is coming out to be? We have to just divide it simply. And then we have to find the success rate of females. That success rate would be how much? 210 divided by 400. and how much is that coming out to be. So that is something which we will have to divide and actually find out, and that part of the trouble I have taken for you guys on my shoulders, and I'll just tell you the final values which will come. And so the success rate of males is going to be 0.56. This value is going to be 0.56. This is the success rate. You can also express this in terms of percentage and multiply by 100, you will get 56%. Similarly, here you will have 52.5% or 0.525 as the success rate for females. So obviously the success rate of males are much higher than that of females. So there is 56, there is only 52.5. So this statement is incorrect. Success rate is actually higher for men. Correct? So this statement we can remove. Now overall success rate is below 50%. What is the overall success rate? What is the overall number of people clarifying the examination by total candidates? So overall number of candidates who are actually passing are 336 plus 210 divided by total, that is 1000. That is going to be how much? 546 by 1000. So if you talk in terms of percentage, you will get 54.6% as the success rate, and here you can see the success rate is definitely above 50% value. So this statement is also incorrect, and this eliminates option number A also, because it is saying both A and B are correct. So we are left with only option number C, that is more men cleared examination than women, and that is evident in front of your eyes. The number of men clearing the exam are 336, and the number of females clearing the exam is 210. So obviously men are clearing the examination more as compared to women. All right, so this is option number C for you in this question. And now we are proceeding to the second last question of the day, that is question number 7. This question might seem very easy to you, but this is tricky, and I'll tell you where the pitfall lies. But now first begin with the easy part. So P is 40% of A and 65% of B. So one can easily say P is 0.4 times A plus 0.65 times of B. These are the things now you have become master of. So nothing to worry about there. Q, if we talk about 50% of A, so it is going to be 0.5 A and 0.5 B. Now it is said that A is greater than B. Okay, this information is there. In this context, which of the following statement is correct? P greater than Q, Q greater than P, P equal to Q. Whatever the thing is, we have to find basically the relation between P and Q, whether P is greater than Q, less than Q, or equal to Q. This thing we have to figure out. Okay, so just a basic trick which we have to follow in this question. Whenever you are being asked whether number A is greater than number B, you just do one thing. If someone says whether X is greater than Y, just say if X is greater than Y, then I can say X minus Y is going to be a positive value. Simple. So you will say X minus Y will be greater than 0 if X is greater than Y. Simple thing. If you take any number, you have 5, and you take a greater number, you take 7. If 7 minus 5 you take will be 2, a positive number, so 7 is greater than 5. On the contrary, you take a number as 5 and take a smaller number, let's say 3. If you subtract 3 minus 5, you will get minus 2. You will get a negative number, which means 3 is actually smaller than 5. That is the basic idea we are going to pursue in this part of the question. So if we have to tell that Q is greater than P, then what we have to say that Q minus P will be greater than 0. So we'll just put the values here. We'll have 0.5A plus 0.5B minus 0.4A minus 0.65B greater than 0. Take A on one side, take B on one side. Here you will have 0.1A minus 0.15B is greater than 0. Take B on that side, we will have 0.1A greater than 0.15B. Okay, so now here we try to get rid of the decimals. From here you will get 10, here you will get 100, cancel out one part. ultimately you will get one part of the equation which will say A is greater than 1.5 P. And this is the very key to this question. Okay, this is the very key to this question. Now, you have to understand one thing, that if Q is greater than P, if Q has to be greater than P, then this condition must be satisfied. But what is the condition given to us in the question? A is greater than B. Only this condition is provided to us, not this condition. So let just discuss something which might help to actually figure out this thing and pay attention, because this part is going to be very conceptual. So just open your ears and follow me. So let's say we just erase it again. Okay, so here we are getting the value of P as nothing but 0.4A plus 0.65B, and the value of Q we were getting as 0.5A plus 0.5B. Now, if Q is greater than P, then this condition must be satisfied. But we are given only this thing in the paper, in the question itself. So basically, A is greater than B, we can have different combinations of the value of A and B. Suppose the value of B you are taking is 1 and you are taking the value of A as 1.2. If that is the case, what will happen? This condition will be satisfied, but this condition will not be satisfied, because since A is less than 1.5 times of B, if you take 1.5 times of B here, if you put B as 1, A should be at least 1.5, but that is not the case. Here A is only 1.2. This condition is not satisfied. So in this condition, you will find that Q will be actually less than P. So one thing which you can do as a part of, interacting, engaging with what I am doing here, the calculation part, which you are also doing, I am assuming, just try to put the value of A and B here and find out the value of P and Q. Definitely you will find that Q is going to be less than P. Similarly, if I take the values, let's say A is equal to 1.5 and B is equal to 1. If I take this value, we'll surprisingly find that both will be the same. You will find that Q will be equal to P. Just try to put these values of A and B here and try to find the values of P and Q. And finally, if we take the value of A as 2 and B as 1, this condition and this condition, both of them are being satisfied. In that case, you will actually find that Q will be greater than P. Okay. So we have three different cases, and for different values of A and B, and in all the values you can see A is greater than B, 1.2, 1.52, all greater than 1. Still you are having one time Q less than P, one time Q equal to P, and one time you are having Q greater than P. Therefore, in this particular question, the correct answer is going to be option number D, that is, none of the above can be concluded with certainty. That, my friends, is a really good question. Okay, and this is, one such thing where you may fall, but try to learn such questions. If you are stuck with such questions in the examination, do not deal head on with them. Try to solve another questions. If you have enough time, then only deal with such questions, because such questions are really difficult. Okay, and so we have tried to make things simple for you, and as a part of engaging with this process, that you are not just the spectators of the video, but actually active participant of the process we are going through. You must actually try to put these values of A and B in these values of P and Q, and just check whether what I am telling you here is correct or not. Although I know it is correct, but it is for you to understand. So this is question number 7, a really good question. And now we'll end the discussion with this last question, which is really good, really confusing if you get it wrong. So a person ordered 5 pairs of black socks and some pairs of brown socks. So the number of brown socks is not given. Let's assume it to be n. Now the price of the black pair was thrice of that of a brown pair. And while preparing, so okay, this is first part of the question. So suppose the number of black socks, let's call it BL, is 5, and the number of brown socks, let's call it BR, it is n. And one thing is given to us is that price of the black sock is thrice of the brown sock. So BL is actually 3 times BR. Okay, are you able to get this? I have written all this information simply here. Now, second part, it's really confusing. So pay great attention. This is a really good question. Okay, that's why I have kept it in the last, so that you all do not freak out. Okay. So while preparing the bill clerk interchanged the number of black and brown pairs by mistake. So what was the correct thing to do? The correct thing which he might have done was that, let us say the price of black socks is BL. So the correct total price would be 5 socks. You are taking black and the price is BL. So the number of socks into the price of each pair of socks plus n times price of brown socks, that is BR. This is actually the total correct price. But what he did the things incorrect. And the incorrect thing was what? So the total price he got was how much? He interchanged the number of black and brown socks. So he assumed the number of black socks, not 5 but n. So you had BL into n black socks into their price, plus now brown socks you are assuming to be 5. So here we will have 5 brown socks. So this interchanging, so ultimately what mistake did he do? This 5 he sent here and this n he sent here. This is the mistake of interchanging which he did. Okay. Now this is the thing we have. What is further given to us is that it increased the bill by 100%. The bill has now increased by 100%. So whatever this old value is, the new value is actually increasing by 100%. Okay. So let me just talk about that in the sidelines. First we'll end the question. What was the number of pairs of brown socks in the original order? So basically we have to find the number of brown socks. Basically we have to find the value of n. This is the demand of the question. We have to find n. And now we are given this information increase by 100%. So earlier you saw, if there was a thing like increase by 20%, what we used to did, we got 1 plus 20% of 1, that was 0.2. So we get 1.2. Now we are having 100% increase. What is 100% increase? Let me write it for you. So 100% increase is nothing but the original one is there plus 100% of 1. 100% of 1 is nothing but 1. So we get 1 plus 1, that is 2. So if something is increasing by 100%, that is basically we have to multiply by 2x. So if a thing doubles, it actually increases by 100%. That is the basic idea of the question. The basic idea of the question is that the price has now doubled. This incorrect billing has actually increased the price to the twice of the value. So one can say the incorrect price, which is, let me write, incorrect price is actually 2 times the correct price. Did you get this part? This part is very critical to solve this particular question, because so far there is nothing being talked about percent. It's all simple, arithmetic. But here, this increase by 100%. You could have written double also, but he did not write double. He wrote increase by 100%, which is an indirect way of saying doubling. And that's what I have written. What I'll do, I'll just put the values again. Let me write it somewhere in a neat and clean form. I'll write it at the top. So here we are getting the incorrect price as what? N times BL plus 5 times BR is equal to 2 times 5 times BL plus N times BR. That is going to be the equation which we have to actually simplify to get the value of N. Out of this whole things, what we have to find is the value of N. Okay, that is the challenge here. So let me just clear all this here and we'll proceed towards solving the question. So here we'll have N times BL plus 5 BR is equal to 10 times BL plus 2N times BR. Okay. Now, in order to further simplify the question, we'll need one piece of information which is crucial, and I have written, it is on the board. I wish if you can find it, it is written somewhere here only, and now I'm going to highlight it. Yes, if you guessed this one, this would be the correct guess, because here is the relation between BL and BR, and this relation will help actually to cancel out the values of BL and BR from here. So you can replace BL as 3 times BR. Here we will have N into 3 times BR plus 5 BR is equal to 10 into 3 into BR plus 2N times BR. We can cancel out BR from the whole expression in total. And finally, just write the values. You will have 3N plus 5 is equal to 30 plus 2N. Just subtract it here. You will get N is equal to 25. So the number of brown socks which we assume to be N is actually option number D, that is 25. So this again was a very good question, and these are the questions I request you to pay attention to. Do not skip such questions thinking that they are too difficult. Please give a try. Do not leave the fight in the between. Okay, because if Arjuna had left the Kurukshetra war midway, then there would have been no story of Mahabharata, and they will be all termed as losers, and I do not want you to be one of them. Okay, I want you to be winners, and this is the way of winning. That is hard work, persistence. If something is bothering you, pay more effort on it, but do not leave the battlefield. Okay, so that was the last question of this percentage topic. Thank you so much, guys.